All right, well, welcome in to the Fat Beans Roasting Laboratory. And would you look at that? A-Web is back from the Arctic chill. Her icy heart has been thawed, and she's been able to rejoin us here in the warm world of Fat Beans Roasting Laboratory. So, we just going to do a pretty standard roast show today. I got order for a pound of coffee, so I'll go ahead and put that together for you guys. It will be officially one of Jimmy's last rides. Well, hopefully. The new roaster is in a truck, and it's on its way towards us here in Kansas City. So if all goes well, and there's no Arctic blasts or anything to stop shipping, we should have the new roaster at least here. Now there is going to be some upgrades I'm going to need to do to the roast lab in order to get it ready for its new home. Hopefully I can get those done by the time the roaster gets here. Who knows? All right. I got the beans, and they are at school. Cannot wait to try tomorrow. All right. Well, hopefully they will serve you well. That took about a week longer than I wanted it to get to you, but circumstances being the case, they should be still in pretty good shape. But enjoy those fat beans as quickly as possible in order to make sure you keep peak freshness. In case you can't tell, the excessive number of exclamation marks, I'm so excited. Yeah, you should be. The feedback on especially those two that I did for you guys and for some other people has been very positive. Ratfink got back with us and said that he really enjoyed both coffees. So that was our friend in Tampa that we made a bet with. I believe Austin Taylor, the excellent person who created our logo, he just contacted us today by way of Jill, said he enjoyed it. So looks like we'll stick to that. Whatever I'm doing, people don't hate. So that's always a mark of something special. I don't hate it. All right, in case you can't tell. All right, so that said, with me repeating chats, let's kick off the show with a little bit of a tasting. If you can recall from last episode, we roasted up a little bit of a Burundi. Now, Burundi is a coffee that can be found in the location of Africa, very close to Kenya and Ethiopia. So we're right in that coffee area in East Africa. Burundis are known for making a very friendly bean in that they have consistent flavors that last. So with that, we were able to make a pretty good cup the first time I did it, and Belvarte was able to try it. She really enjoyed it. There were some flavors that I wasn't picking up on as intensely, so I decided to roast this coffee a little bit lighter than I normally do, in an effort to see if I couldn't get some more of these flavors. So the flavors on this that I'm looking for in particular are going to be the honey and the apple. The apple, the honey, and the lemon seem to be a little bit muted when I made this last time. So those are the flavors I'll be looking for in the cup here in a minute. What is on the wall? These are postcards that I receive from Sweet Maria's every time I order green coffee. In fact, I have a couple more I haven't hung up, but they are really quite informative. So this one would be just different roast levels. Facts. But this is just a good, very light guide. Now, if we were to keep with the American Specialty Coffee Roasting Association, or just the Specialty Coffee Roasting Association, I believe their name is, these bottom colors are what you would call a roast profile. Cinnamon, light, city, city plus, full city, and city plus, full city plus. So when you hear me throwing out those terms, I'm actually referring to these colors. And as you will notice with the new roaster, I'll actually have I call it like a roasting wand, where you are able to pull beans out while they're roasting, and you look at them. What you would do is you would try to line them up to color as best as you can. And there's a lot of scientific tools that you can use in order to check the color, check the consistency. Although we are a laboratory for science, we're not quite that sciencey yet. So we'll have to stick with just seeing it on the card. Anyway, if you have any postcards that you'd like to see featured on the wall, listen to that, how official that is. Go ahead and send them to me. And manipulate the decor however you see fit. But that's enough of the chitty chat. Let's get to the coffee drinking. Whoops. Well, coffee doesn't need much, but it does need hot water. That heated up. Why do they have to be difficult? It's like tall, grande, and venti. That doesn't make any sense. It's, it all goes way back to hundreds of years ago when everything was a little bit more, rural and towny. You couldn't really call it like 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. It was more how merchants would talk. So city would be how people would try to sell it to people who lived in the city. And everything darker would be kind of how the cultures tend to drink it as you go further. If you really get into dark roasts, every town has their own specific dark roast, but really all it is just really burnt. So P. Brogren, yo, good to see you in the chat. Everybody wish P. Brogren a happy birthday. So I was going to call my older brother on his birthday today. But since he wished me a happy birthday in the chat, I was hoping he'd show up. So if you get a chance, tell P. Brogren. I think he's 40 now. Something like that. But happy birthday, P. Brogren. Good to see you. You should have like green, baby poop green, fall leaves brown, darker brown. Done, I fixed it. Well, I mean, I'll submit it to the Coffee King and see if he comes back with if that's acceptable or not. There you go, P. Brogren. There's your minute of fame on your birthday, and I will reach out to you later to give you an official happy birthday. Okay. Ooh, look at that. Look at all that love coming in. Our water's almost heated up. So, cook it a little bit lighter. Hopefully, still got some of the similar flavors in there. So tonight, we're going to be doing just dipping into the old bag here. As you can see, the bag's getting a little thin. I think we will probably be through this bag in about the next 3 or 4 weeks, especially when I get the new roaster. Yet to be named, new roaster. I think this bag is going to dwindle pretty quickly, but it's had a good run, and it's been making some pretty delicious coffee. So I got someone who said I want to go for a pound of this, so we'll make that pound for them tonight. What is the metal thing in the top corner? That is my microphone. I won't touch it for the ear's sake, but where I have it right now, it tends to hang out in there. That would be a microphone. Look at that, P. Brogren, famous. Internet famous. Enjoying the sultry sounds of my voice. Thank that microphone. Fancy pants indeed. Hey. May not have a large community. We're always going to have a well taken care of community. That is the name of the game here at Fat Beans Coffee Lab. Only the best Chinese electronics for my viewers. All right. Go ahead and get a quick taste test on our Burundi. Let Judy eat. Start the old jute scoot. So a pound of coffee will lose anywhere between 11 and 14% of its weight through water. So 16 ounces will become roughly about 12 ounces. And 8 ounces will become 6 ounces. So I refer to it as the green weight, because that's what I buy it in, and that's what I measure it out. So if I'm buying 5 pounds, I will roast it. So I can get 5 roasts. I will roast by weighing it at green. When I sell it, and what you'll notice at the store, the sales price is usually either, very few people sell halves. They'll call it a pound, but it's actually 12 ounces. Now, you are seeing, since I'm specialty, when I start selling a little bit larger, I think I'm going to just go ahead and commit to the actually what it is. So if I roast 2.5 pounds, I'll try to get 2 pounds, but then sell it at 16 ounces. Do most coffee shops do that? Yeah, the bags that you see. So for you, Belvarte, if you're thinking about like Messenger, they are selling that at 12 ounces. But if you ask for a pound of coffee, that's what they give you. But since we are small, we might try to mess around and say, that might be one of my first gimmicks. I give you the whole pound. Me and the boss are still working out our overall plan of attack. When we start, since we do have a little bit of a favorable impression, but we're going to try to match quality with reasonability to some degree. Oh, and there's Robot. So, get Judy all warmed up while I'm warming myself up here. A little bit of Joe. I'm going to let this just cool down just a smidge. Nice thing about the thin-walled IKEA glass is that it doesn't really hold heat well, so we should be enjoying what smells like going to be some tasty coffee here in a second. I'll go ahead and just have my buyer's notes by hand while I'm drinking these. Just the 15 to 20 seconds less development time has definitely changed this flavor a little bit. I don't know. Where does the term cup of Joe come from? So, I mean, I don't know. I'll make something up for you, though. I never want to give you nothing. So let's assume that one of the first commercial products grown in Indonesia, where the Dutch were spreading coffee around, because the Dutch had a big influence in that area. Not Indonesia, but the Southeast Asia, the islands areas. There was an island called Java. They started growing a particular plant type called Java. Java, Joe, cup of Joe. There you go. So I'm definitely getting the apple. The apple is in. I think the honey's going to come when it cools down. So I'm going to let it cool down a little bit and see if the honey's one of those flavors that as the coffee starts to come closer to room temperature, a lot of the sugary flavors will start to show their head. I'll take that story, so there you go. King of Coffee is named Joe. You're right. The King of Coffee is named Joe. Even if his name's not Joe, he becomes Joe. Joey, Joe, Shabadoo. World War II term. There you go. So, like G.I. Joe? Is that what it's from? Like the G.I. Joes drinking coffee? I think we could probably, between the 7 of us, I think we could probably form a pretty good story before we leave. We'll get to the bottom of this. Must be Joe King. Oh, I didn't miss that. I didn't miss that. Yeah, I did. I missed it. You're a very welcome sight into the chat, Aweb. I'm glad to hear that if not everything's alright, that at least things are getting put back together for you, so. And just like that, there's the honey flavor, so honey is in. Average Joe drinks coffee. Joe is usually at the Waffle House diner. The drink becomes Joe. That's my story. Well, I mean, I think... So what if Joe, after he was done serving in World War II, where he served 2 tours in the Marines, where he served in the Southeast Asian island of Java, then went to the Waffle House, where he drank so much coffee that they turned him into the king. How about that? Not perturbed. It's good. The lemon's there. All the flavors I was looking for. This has turned into a pretty spot-on cup of Joe. That would have been Wanda. You said World War II. That'd be World War I. Gotta get our World War straight here. Gotta get our war straight. Alright. Fire up Jutes. Let her do the old Jute scoot. Joe would be proud of our story. I think so. I think the name has done justice now. Point of argument, the world wars were just one long war. Sure. Why not? That is a point of argument. You could some say that we're still in a world war. We're just waiting. Here comes all the social studies teachers.
Actually, technically, if you look at it, nothing changed between 1910 and 1938, which would allow for a differentiation between the main causes of the world wars.
I'll stop. You guys just enjoy the beans. I'm gonna enjoy the coffee. The old BBF. Hot and firing. The new roaster, don't you guys worry, your little heads. We will have that beautiful bean footage and more. And more. So don't you fear, bean heads. The BBF is going nowhere. It is a staple here to stay. To be honest, I've taught it for years. Couldn't point it out on a map either. I could get close because I'm guessing It's not on the west side, so I'm guessing it's on the east side. But as soon as Vegetable Beard finishes our map, we'll be able just to point right to the where we've been map. Sure, why not? It's got to be somewhere, right? Everything's somewhere. You guys all have the internet. I mean, don't have that capability, but we could have this Joe story figured out. We could know where Burundi is. We could know a lot of things, but I kind of like that you guys are treating it. We're going pre-circa 2002 in here and ignoring that we have the internet at our disposal. Mate. Now, is it yerba mate or is it just mate? If I say yerba mate, do I sound like a square, or is that a part of the lingo? I've had it. It's good. Well, it's good if you got that metal straw that the yerba mate is known for. Yerba mate? Mate? Alright, so there you go. Hot on it. Well, Belvarte, just fill them in what that is. It's quite the drink. Is that a cleanse? It is like a cleanse. It'll clean you out. You have enough of that tea. Clean the pipes right up good. Take the edge off, too. I don't think that's the same thing. I do think that's the same thing. Okay, so we got our, I guess we'll call it our Fat Beans favorite in the roaster right now. One of two that we'll be doing tonight. Much like we did last time we did a pound. The effort or the goal here is to try to get these to line up as much as possible. Loose leaf tea with a lot of caffeine. It's a social part of being together in Argentina. You you share it among each other. I thought you said you stare at each other. That would be a lot cooler. Just you have to look each other just directly in the eyes while you drink the whole thing. Mate. Can always use more caffeine in my life. That's just what you need. I think the puns are gonna be just a rolling tomorrow after you drink some of this coffee. Just firing puns. Just releasing the old pun rifle. Good sign for the changing weather. Rolled up the sleeves. How you know it's getting a little bit more temperate here in Kansas City. Sleeves are up. I call it the old stare and share. Exactly. The old stare and share. Okay, machine's warming up nicely. On Judy's last rides, she's won't be gone forever. She will be making guest appearances from here or there, but it's time to move on to more science. Can't be called Fat Beans Coffee Labs and not get a little bit more data, so trading Judy in for the next year's model. The old stare and share. Hopefully the jazz music's hitting your ears just right. The old bean cam's putting you to sleep. Giving you a little rockabye. Coffee was pretty good. About to pull a Bill Belichick. We'll see him in the next few shows. wear it like this. Reminds me, Belvarte's contribution of crab hat is back in. I'm getting close. Getting close to that kind of weather here. The seasons, they are changing. They are changing fast. Oh boy. Because you were crabby, I guess. I don't know what Belvarte is trying to say about my overall disposition, but maybe it's because I am crabby. You should do a show where Fat Beans tries to do as much possible at once. 2 roasters, AeroPress, pour over at the same time. We'll see. I think that show will be called The End of Fat Beans Roasting Laboratory, because I think we'll probably have a fire on our hands. But that's what the crowd wants. The crowd gets. That's what the crowd wants, is a nice little basement fire. Iron Chef Challenge. Alright, so if you're watching the old bean show here, see, we're just approaching first crack. That right at 8 minutes 30 seconds, so we'll see how he follows the time for each. I know. I think I can do it, but I think like I said, I think one of the machines will probably catch fire if that's the case. Early pops there. Pull everything down. Let it come together. Show title: Spill the Beans. He also has to tell embarrassing stories. You were missed, A-Web. You were very missed. That would be the Saturday show. Well, we'll see. We shall see. All right, so first batch in the books. Looks good, looks even, like what we've been sending out. I'll go drop this in the cooler. We'll see what the turnaround looks like. So with this batch, because I only do half pounds with Cutie, even though I'm going to bag it as 1 pound, I'm actually doing 2, and I'm going to put them into 1 pound. The new roaster will not have that limitation, simply because I'll be able to do 1 pound in it pretty easily. So the effectiveness of my time will go up exponentially with the next one. But still, I'm I'm just afraid that I won't be able to replicate the excellence that this little box of magic has been able to provide me over the last 6 months or so. We shall see. They do look like those paper hot dog holders. These are actually pretty official in the roasting community for holding green beans, roasted beans, cupped beans. These are called cupping trays. They cost about $1 a piece, so they're not like they're too expensive. And this one is branded Sweet Maria's. Sweet Maria's. What these little pups provide me, actually, is you can flex them. Easier to pour them in and out of receptacles. It definitely helps with the pouring, and it's nice to have something uniform. They hold a half a pound pretty well. There it is, pre-dechapped. Still a little bit of chap on there. Bounce those off right now. And voila. Beans into dreams, kiddos. Beans into dreams. How about that new lighting? Ooh, that's sweet. Glad you like it. Spy the yellow lines, good eye. Yep. As this Ethiopian is a washed African. Holds those yellow lines very beautifully. And it also gives me a chance just to check for any undesirables mixing around in here. Doesn't look to be the case. Okay, so we're gonna real quick do a very fast turnaround on the second pound. So I'll just go ahead and stay live. So guess we're finding out who the hardcore bean heads are. Might as well keep the camera on. We're already running. Since this is the back half of the show, we'll call it the deep cuts or beans after dark. So if you got any questions that aren't coffee related, as long as they don't get they don't veer too left or right, we can see what we'll start referring to this as the second half of the show. So Webb, if you're still in here, this is really where you can let your creative juices and questions really start to fly here. So roasting on the back half starts now. Is Little Sebastian really all that? I'm in the camp of that Little Sebastian is... I think when you're from Indiana, you tend to think things are a lot more special than they are. So in keeping with the true spirit of Indiana and people from Indiana, I think Little Sebastian is really as good as it could get. Especially considering that they were in southern Indiana. I think Little Sebastian has to be right up there with Larry Bird's grandmother Tilda with overall attractions from the state of Indiana. So yes, I'm pro Little Sebastian. If you're not pro Little Sebastian, you go ahead and let me know, but he's a mini horse. And what does he do? He does being a mini horse better than anybody. And he does have a dope rip as far as the song goes. So Jill McDonald's on top of that. What's the best barbecue joint in KC? That would be Baby Bean's Place or JMCD's Barbecue. After that, full disclosure, I'm going to blow your mind with some facts. I haven't eaten at a ton of barbecue places. Q39 is pretty good. So I would say Q39 Kansas City has been my personal favorite. So barbecue here is a little bit different than Texas. You don't see as much stand in line and order. I did like that about barbecue in Texas. In fact, Central Texas Barbecue, which was at Hobby Airport right by my house, that was tough to beat. Hard to beat in Houston. The real question is, what is the best barbecue in Austin? You guys go ahead and sort that out on me. What is the best Austin Tonier? Your 5,000 candles in. You take a running leap and you learn to fly. Lots of good ones. You have to pick one. See, that's Franklin's. What's a Franklin? Like that turtle? Is that turtle the best barbecue? Turtle barbecue? Is turtle good food to barbecue? Austin proper, I'd have to go with. There ain't no way my ass is gonna be able to say that word. I'm not even gonna do it. But the best Central Texas in any place is in Lockhart. Interesting. I had some family friends that lived in Lockhart for a spell, and they said that Lockhart had the best barbecue. So you might be onto something there. Smith's is delicious. Have we decided if barbecue turtle would be any good? That's the question. Is barbecue turtle worth adventuring, or should we save the turtles? Well, JMCD, if you're in the chat, what would be your preferred outside of your own barbecue in Kansas City? These are the hard-hitting questions we got to get to the bottom of. Audrey, what's the best barbecue in Indiana? Yeah, I mean, I would have to say that Central Texas has the best barbecue, because even the place in Houston that I loved was called Central Texas Barbecue. It's all that mesquite. It's all that sweet mesquite. Is that right? Mesquite. Baby beans. Question's too hard. I had Joe's KC Barbecue once. They had the best portobello mushroom burger I've ever had. There you go. Put that on the sign. Home of the best portobello mushroom burger I've ever had. Q's. It's out of a guy's garage in Muncie. You go there for vacation? You go visit when you go visit Muncie on vacation. You go to Q's. You knock on Q's door. Hey, I'm here for the best barbecue in Muncie, Indiana. I've barbecued turtle. Tastes like barbecue chicken. Q39 for you too. Yeah, I mean Q39 is, again, it's not like the traditional Texas barbecue where it's you walk up, you order, you sit down on the picnic tables. It's a restaurant. Got good barbecue, top to bottom, and I mean, because it's a restaurant, you don't just have to do barbecue either. So that's, you know what, it's kind of like how seafood in Houston was, where they turned it like into this big restaurant event when I just want seafood. No, I went to Ball State, the Harvard of Muncie. I mean, I guarantee it's the Harvard of Muncie. I think, aren't there two schools, Ball State and Muncie, and Q's? You knock on that guy's door and you say, give me some of that Indiana education. I want some of that Indiana education, Q's. Now tell us how they are the fiercest of all of the... What kind of birds? For as much of a barbecue culture KC is, it's a home barbecue kind of town. It's not so much about the restaurants as it is you could go to any suburban / city person and they're going to be trying their hand at some level of barbecue here. I think that's kind of what makes Kansas City such a unique barbecue town, and why a lot of competition is, because it's very, let's say, it's very Fat Beans-esque in its approachability. Fiercest of the robin-sized birds. There it is. There it is, crowd. Peck 'em. Peck 'em, ballers. Ball 'em. Ball 'em up, Ball State. Wish 'em into a ball, Ball State. Ball 'em. Chirp. Chirp. Figured I'd get a little... Any more questions? We got the barbecue. We understand that Indiana has two things. It has mini horses and garage barbecue. Go Indiana. Nice start to Fat Beans After Dark here. Good questions. Oh. What is the correct way to pull toilet paper? Over and down. None of this under. And I know the science for the under, it speaks better. But I'm all about the over and down. I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure it's controversial, but I'm over and down. Have you been to the World War I museum? I ran out of time, wasn't able. That's our claim to fame right there. That's our gold medal attraction, that World War I museum. Oh, I've been. That is a real easy field trip for freshmen. You just turn them loose in that bad boy and just watch them desecrate all of the memories. That's a teacher's dream, that World War I museum. I've even been up on top. Got a little bird's eye view. It's over. Ah. No, that's the World War I museum. That is, Kansas City is a Midwestern town. Sometimes it gets a little bit of heat for trying to make things that aren't like overly great because a lot of you have been to the Midwest or from the Midwest. There's not much here, so when we have something, but that World War I museum is a national treasure. Yeah, I think it's all over. I don't even think about it. It's how it is. Like Tupac said, just the way it is. Over. And things will never be the same. Wow. I didn't know we touched such a spicy nerve on the toilet talk with the toilet paper. So, because doesn't under like take an extra step? Now, I'm not trying to get... I mean, I guess this is Fat Beans After Dark, but let's be honest. No, you don't want another step. You don't need another step. What if... Already, when you're changing the toilet paper, it's probably out of necessity, not out of plan. And the last thing you want to do when you need some new paper is one more step. No. No. I didn't realize I'd go to bat for this, but now you've touched a nerve. I think that's the civil war that will divide these beanheads. The House of Beanheads will be divided simply on the lines of over or under. This is a crappy conversation. We'll fire up another one. There's got to be some conversation you can overtly layer puns on top of. Let's see what that one is. I'm game. Bad Beans After Dark, kids. Hello, chat. Here, better let... Yeah, absolutely. There's no right time. The right time is right now here in the Fat Beans Laboratory, and we are in Fat Bean After Dark. Which means we have given AWeb free reign on the old chat dial. My kid likes to pre-roll it for us and our cats. I'm usually the one that actually puts the paper on the roll, otherwise it stays balanced on. I know, right? It should be behind on the old porcelain back there. Just wrap a little around your hand, put it back. It's farm style. Because our bathroom is so small that I need to reach. All right, okay. I mean, that's out of necessity. Out of necessity comes innovation, but I mean. That should only be the case for your bathroom. You shouldn't be pushing it as scripture, though. for that one bathroom under, but everything else, let's go over. Keep it over. Truth. That's all we do. That's all we spit down here in the old bean laboratory on the second rows. Toilet truth. That's what you all come here for. What is the best point to get gas? When your tank is half empty or half full? Tank on fumes only. Now, the original Judy was a used car salesperson. And she swore that you should never let your tank go beyond half full because it could destroy the fuel filter or something. I don't know. Get in the fuel pump. So, since we're not all in... a lot of us in this chat are entering more prominent years, but I've ran out of gas several times. And being it's a strong topic, I'm looking at Jill. I don't know this for a fact, but I think Jill is probably a run out of gas kind of person too. She just feels like a run out of gasser. I didn't realize how educational. I mean, that means after dark. Once we get to that second batch, it all cracks open. Oh, we break loose. You're just chatting now. Half if the light's not on, you're fine. Yeah, I mean, once that light goes on, you have 45 miles. Easily 45 miles. These are the hard-hitting questions of our time. I agree. That's right. You snowpocalypsed yourself right out of gas. I would like to say that something like that would last forever. You'll never run out of gas again, but once you live on the gas edge, you always live on the gas edge, and that's just a fact. These people that give you all this gas advice, they've never lived on the gas edge. You're a person that likes to push that light just to see how long it can go, Kramer it as it were. Just stick with who you are. So that's a very Midwest German answer of you, and I think 15. I'm all about roll in right it on time. To me, if you show up early, like that's rude too. Like in my mind, if they say 8 o'clock, they mean 8 o'clock. Roll in at 8 o'clock. It takes a little bit more planning. Sometimes you sit in your car like a goon, but I'm all about rolling in right at the time. I want to see go time. I don't want to see this 5 minutes early shtick. That's just wasting time. Like anyone that promotes wasting time, I want nothing to do with them. Just like I don't want anything to do with people that are late either. You gotta be right on time. Within plus or minus 2 minutes. The fear of loss. I mean, sometimes I'll scout the place out. Like it's pathetic. I'll just hide around, just like lurk around. But I'm making a point. I mean, great minds think alike, Lisa. Great minds think alike. You can't let fear run your life, A-Web. You just can't do it. Sometimes you just gotta live dangerously and say, hey, I'm gonna be there right on time. Plus or minus 2 minutes. Sitting in your car. I mean, that's a move. Nobody wants to be that nerd who is in the first one in there and is like, even the presenter comes in and is just like, whoa, what are you doing here? McDonald time generally 15-30 minutes after when we... Yeah, that's a full-on fact. Anytime Julie says something, I go ahead and just add 15 minutes to it. Start moving it on down the line. When you're in the Fat Beans Laboratory, A-Web, you're never the only weirdo. Remember that. Because, let's be honest. I'm a grown-ass man roasting beans in my basement. So you're never going to be a weirdo on this show. You're an olfactory learner? You do a lot of sniff learning? That smells like science. That smells like math. You know what? Learning is whatever you're willing to do for life. JMCD, I'm not going to disparage the great Jeannie Lynn McDonald, but I see that. I can see that. Ooh, boy. Got another showstopper here, kiddos. All right. Time for you guys to play quality control here. So, give it the old eyeball test. The matchup. Camera A. Camera B. Roast A. Roast B. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Yeah. I mean, hey Web, I don't want to get into this. Like that's the hard-hitting stuff that we want to save. Are we picking one? No, I'm actually going to use this all for 1 pound. I just want to make sure you guys think they look very similar to one another. So when I put them all in the same bag, we say that they're we can call it the same. I could sit and scream about a hot dog being a sandwich for hours. Literally hours. But that, will save some of that content. Does real chili have beans? Yeah, bet it does. If it doesn't give you gas, it's not chili. Go ahead and put that on the can. You go dropping noodles in there, you can get the hell out of here. All for one, beans for all. Yep. Okay, so. Little delicious pound here. Little Wednesday night hard work and effort. And I think I'm a big fan of the Fat Beans After Dark. You guys brought your A game there. So we'll definitely tune that into the show. A hot dog is not a sandwich, mainly due that you don't put... You're going to let lettuce? You're going to have lettuce be your argument? You're going to come in here in a court of public opinion, and your only argument you're going to stand on is lettuce? That's all you got is lettuce? You go ahead and put a pin in that. We're going to need to circle back. Chili has beans. Texas chili is just sad sloppy Joe mix. Yeah. Get your beans in there. Put the beans in. Just put the beans in. I mean, if you just want to have meat, sloppy Joe. In fact, if you're not going to put the beans in, just make ground hamburger and eat that. Get that beans in. You know how we feel about beans at Fat Beans Laboratory. I mean, his name is Vegetable Beard. Lettuce isn't a vegetable. It's just a leaf. Like going to a tree and putting... Like, that's like saying if you don't have leaves on your sandwich. Doesn't make any sense. Hot dog's a sandwich. Put it between two breads to make it more convenient to eat. That's a sandwich. Why? No. No way. I can't get drug into this argument. Won't do it. Sandwich gets all kind of... What kind of monster would put bologna and roast beef on a hot dog bun? It's called a hoagie. You sit here and tell me a hoagie bun's not a hot dog bun, and you're lying to yourself. If you can sit there and look at your cell phone while talking to me and tell me that a freaking hoagie is not a hot dog bun, and yes, AWeb just... See? Court, I'm not ready to rest my case. I want to make sure I give enough time to get my arguments out there. But hot dog is bologna. It's a freaking cold cut. It's an uncut cold cut. Oh, you guys. How'd we get here? What's a hoagie? A hero. A sub. A hoagie. A grinder. You know, a long sandwich. Fold the bun over. Is that a Happy Days carrot? You just need to crawl into your own mustache. Get out of here. Just fly away with that thing. Hoagie. You know what a hoagie is. Don't make me do that. Not Midwest. Is that... See? If it's good enough for the lunch lady land, it's good enough for you. Alright guys, well... That turned out a lot better than I thought it would, so... We brought the A game on the Fat Beans After Dark there. So, we're able to get 1 pound in. So, we'll be dropping this delicious... delicious little treat off. If you've noticed, we've gained a lot of followers lately, so that is... We've probably got most of our followers on word of mouth. So if you think that you might find someone that would like these kind of shenanigans of roasting beans and yelling about sandwiches, go ahead and just let me know. Tell them to drop a follow in, but been having a lot of fun. So a hot dog is a hoagie. I mean, yeah, a hot dog's a hoagie. That's where we have to end the conversation. Or I could sit down here in my basement screaming about hot dogs for 2.5 hours and love every minute of it. Don't get me wrong. But go ahead, tell the people, tell the masses, let them know. We're answering the hard-hitting questions here, Fat Beans. So as we start to hopefully take more orders over the next months to come, we'll be expanding our show a little bit. Hopefully I can keep it a little bit lively, but you guys bring the A game every night, so I appreciate that with the questions. It keeps me laughing. Also, with 2 young kids, it keeps me somewhat social. This is about as social as I can get talking to a TV screen at 9:30 at night on a Wednesday, but hell, at my age, I'll take it. Not all hoagies are hot dogs. But all hot dogs are hoagies. Facts. But anyway, I think we got something good here. So... new roaster. The new roaster will be here, so hopefully we can get an electrician down here. So if you know oh yeah, but you know what? I'd rather go off the rails with you guys than stay on the rails by myself. So anyway, we're gonna get the new roaster in on hopefully the end of this week. So if you live in the Kansas City area and you know let's say a creative electrician, one that's not afraid to live outside the boundaries of, you know, codes and licenses, but knows how to, that's not afraid to mess with the box, you tell them to go ahead and get a contact with me so that we can get the power ran for the old roaster. On full circle though. You guys did it. You guys caught him in a circular logic. Congratulations. But anyway, got a new roaster in. That's exciting, for me at least. And it should add some different dynamics to what we can do, both in how much coffee we can roast, but also you'll actually be able to track some science along with me. because the data that is tracked is all digital, and I will pipe that into the kind of in the chat window here. So our coffee roasting is getting ready to be taken to like a 15. We're gonna go way past 11. All right, well, you guys can sit here and stew. I hope all of our opening arguments have now been given. So when you come back to the roast show, you're ready to go. I'm gonna be roasting again on Friday, and the Saturday show is still way up in the air. So we will definitely do something. I just don't know what yet. But I'll let you guys sit here and argue amongst yourselves. Hot dog's a sandwich. That. Really good to have all you guys back. I'm glad everyone's safe. Glad everyone's warm. Glad we're trending the right way on a lot of things. So, good. You guys all take care of yourself. As always, stay caffeinated. I'll see you next time.